This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, July the 6th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and we're closing out the July 4th weekend on another dry and pleasant note. But temperatures are going up, as is the moisture level. Sky over Decatur this morning showing some mid-level clouds in the 7,000 to 9,000 foot range, and we see some of those clouds from the Trussville Skycam as well. High pressure still is the predominating feature across the eastern half of the country. We do have a little bit of a area of disturbed weather along that front that moved through the area back on July 3rd off in the southeast coast of the U.S., but not expected to develop into anything. The upper air pattern remains pretty fixed with a nice ridge in the west and a bit of a troughiness in the east, not a strong trough, and it looks like another trough approaching across the southern tier of Canada will probably bring another front down into the area, at least stall it out. Not quite like the last front, unfortunately. That was a nice little break in the action from the summer heat. Temperatures this morning a little bit warmer, thanks in part to some passing clouds and as the humidity levels go up. QPF-wise, we're not expecting a lot of showers and thunderstorms across central Alabama over the next week. As a matter of fact, staying dry for the first part of the week, and looks like probably the better chance for rain coming around Thursday. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk area in the vicinity of the what I'd call the upper Midwest, basically, the area of Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa, just to the west of Chicago. Day 2, following along that front, the slight risk area comes down into the Ohio River Valley, and then day 3, it's again in the Ohio River Valley. And as we mentioned, the tropics are quiet, and looks like nothing of any real activity going on, although it is interesting to note the large cluster of clouds coming off the African coast. We'll have to be watching for any development with that. All right, the modeling this morning, and there's a look at the surface pattern from the GFS, the 06Z GFS model run. And we do have the little area of disturbed weather in the southeast, but for the most part, I think we stay dry. This overall pattern of the ridge in the west and the trough in the east continues with us on Monday, and we do see a front coming across the upper Midwest there, and that will continue to occur as the trough begins to deepen somewhat on Tuesday. I think we stay dry on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, we see that short wave coming across southern Canada has deepened the trough nicely, but that is expected to just bring the front down into the area between the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee River Valley, and that's where the front is likely to stall out, which is what a lot of fronts do this time of year. The upper trough moves on fairly quickly over into southeast Canada, and as that occurs, the ridge or ridging loft gets stronger, and so that washes the front out in our vicinity. So I think Thursday may be the day with the better chance for showers in the week ahead. The ridge comes back in fairly strongly on Friday the 11th, and stays that way on Saturday the 12th, and that way on the 13th, as we see another short wave moving across southern Canada, but again not having enough southward extent to actually bring much in the way of activity our way, but does bring a front down into the central part of the country and into the Ohio River Valley. But that just keeps us pretty much in a bit of a unsettled weather pattern with warm, moist air in place and over the southeastern U.S. Looking out into voodoo country, the GFS has been flipping and flopping, but for the last couple of days it's been fairly consistent with keeping the idea of the ridge in the west and the trough in the east. And we see another fairly substantial trough. You know, the summertime, we just don't see these troughs get down this far, but I mean, it's possible. As we saw around the 3rd of July, we got that nice front that moved through. So we may see this pattern would certainly suggest that the front might get down into the area once again and perhaps bring some drier air. But by the time we get out to the end of the period, around the 21st of July, we're looking once again at ridging, and the westerlies very far to the north or across southern Canada. That'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for this morning, and James Spann is expected to be back from vacation on Monday with the next edition of the Weather Extreme video. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in, and Godspeed.